if after Tuesday shit gets crazy,
yeah,
I don't think that nobody needs to be worried about taking the high road.
No.
Like, because my thing is, they're not going to take the high road with you. You're going to get dragged and beat up how they was doing those black Trump supporters down at the rally.
Why was they whooping their ass?
Whooping their ass.
Jumping them.
Whooping
and
their
these motherfuckers
ass.
had on MAGA hats.
All of them got on MAGA hats.
And they like, you can't tell, like, what the Spider-Man mean?
What's
Like,
going
what the fuck
on?
is going on?
Like, what the fuck?
Pardon me. Pardon me. Pardon me.
Today we're here with a special episode of Politics with P, GOTV edition. And you know we here with a special guest. Everybody, let's give a round of applause for Janelle. GOTV, what is that all about?
GOTV is get out the vote. So essentially, we're entering the election season where we are no longer trying to persuade all of you, I don't want to vote for that woman. Don't even get me down that path. We're only going to turn out the people who are really our supporters to get out to the polls and vote, right? Because we need Kamala to win in the landslide. So over GOTV weekend, all of the calls, the canvases, all the text messages y'all keep crying about getting, is to encourage you to go cast your ballot. Get your stuff early on Tuesday and pound it to the polls because you're going to be in line for 6 hours, but you need to cast your vote.
Okay, get those feet to the pavement and get to walking.
Souls to the polls.
Souls to the polls.
Yes.
Because we need everybody to vote. This is a very important year, and I know y'all probably hear that every year, but this time the stakes are really high, especially considering that we might have another 4 years of Trump, and I know nobody wants that.
Oh no, girl.
Why do you think that it's important for folks to get out and vote now?
It's important for folks to get out and vote because it is literally the election of our lifetimes. Like, I know y'all tired of hearing it, but it's really just the truth, right? We are approaching full-out fascism in our country. Each election feels like it has even higher and higher stakes because we've been slow rolling into fascism, right? From hanging chads to trickle-down economics with Reagan, right? All of these things have led us to this point of where we're really facing a leader who wants absolute dictatorial power, to have illegal elections, to have followers who engage in political violence to suppress and oppress the votes of people who they deem as having real votes. It's important that we turn out to vote and we really show them that we're not going to give our country over to fascism and that we're going to fight to have a democracy, right?
Yeah.
And what democracy hinges on is people actually being smart and engaged. You have to engage. You have to vote. Voting is like the most baseline thing you can do to engage and like shift our democracy. And voting that entire ballot, not just bubble straight ticket.
Yeah.
Y'all, I run some polls and y'all 70% functionally illiterate in our city. Just bubble the straight ticket. But when you get on that back, you need to vote them nonpartisan seats as well.
Okay, you saw the blog that I had where I wrote up on them Trump supporters, right? Go back to my page and watch that blog where me and Mo wrote up on those Trump supporters. Why old girl in the video? Why she working the polls for early voting? 2 people have messaged me. 2 people have messaged me and said that she's down at the polls helping folks vote.
I wanted to spell, I'm a chairperson of a poll. And actually the way it works, you're supposed to have somebody from the opposing party at the poll to ensure that the election is bipartisan and fair. You see, even like we think of all of these things when we structure our elections to make them just and fair. And even though she is fried across all the lands, if she's working to the election, that actually ensures that our election is more fair. Right?
Yeah.
'Cause would you want to roll into the polls with the other side and ain't nobody in there that checking ballots?
No, hell no.
No, she's so fried out her brain, she ain't shifting no conversations.
She's musty.
And so I understand the like bipartisanship of it, right? But this isn't a typical Republican. Like this isn't a person who can show what bipartisanship looks like, right? And this is not a normal election. So that's why I think it's such heightened tensions when you hear folks like saying, oh, I'm voting for Trump. Because when I hear that, I hear like, oh, I'm voting for racism, or oh, I'm voting for sexism, or oh, I'm voting for
Muslim bans.
The
elimination of Palestine.
Like what? Come
say
on.
The things.
Say the
let's
things.
Say the things.
Let's say the things.
Yeah.
And so like this isn't the age of bipartisanship because what they're trying to implement is not normal stuff.
It's very abnormal and it's really on the brink of not having a democracy. You have a man that has stood up and said, I'll make this the last time you gotta to vote. Like, he's not playing. Why don't we believe everything that he say when he on that TV? And he get up there and let's be real, he might be dumb, but he is very pointed and loyal to the parties that he's speaking to. And his rhetoric, especially the escalation of his rhetoric in the last few weeks, is telling us he's speaking to white people and a very specific group of white people, right? He really is telling you who he's for and who he's trying to be elected for. And we need to listen up. And I think us as black people and us as marginalized communities, we believe him because we've lived under the hill of this country for centuries, right? And I think that when people forget that we was in that house in that pandemic.
Listen, you don't want to go back to the Trump years. You don't want to go back to that. Like,
inject some bleach. He used to have Dr. Fauci up there sweating bullets. Like, what is coming out of this man's mouth?
Like, do y'all not remember every day waking up and it was something crazy on the news cycle?
$1,200 though.
$1,200. I got my $1,200. I got my $1,200 done, so I don't need nothing else.
And really, let's be real. We're really having a reductionist conversation when we talk about the $1,200. It's really people missing the PPP loans and the fraud and the scamming. They're missing the unemployment scams. Let's talk about what they really miss. They miss having a fraudulent president to engage in fraudulent
activities. Okay.
When Kamala said, I want to give you some real $6,000 for your newborn.
They want child support forgiveness, not money for the kids. They don't want money for the kids.
We don't want to care for the children up front. We want the court to demand it and fight back.
Okay, bring it back.
$67 a week is putting them niggas in the poorhouse.
But you got the nerve to say you voting for Trump.
Look at there.
They said Elon Musk got up there and said, in order to right the ship, America's gonna have to feel the pain. A 20% tariff on everything imported. Y'all was scared and running and buying tissue because you thought the motherfucking longshoremen, because I live off interest. Look, anyway, y'all thought the longshoremen was going on strike and y'all bought all the goddamn tissue down from the Sam's Club. Imagine what you gonna do when tissue is motherfucking $48 for a 6-pack.
Okay.
Then you're gonna want to have a whole different conversation.
And my thing is, I don't want to hear Elon Musk saying nothing about no ships. You don't say nothing about no ships, okay? You don't listen. We don't want to hear nothing like that coming out of your mouth, especially doing the stuff that you're doing as an immigrant yourself.
From where? Let's do our research. South Africa.
Okay.
He's from South Africa. Apartheid.
Okay. Got the blueprints, okay? And he's linking up with Trump. Like, it's just, get out the boat. Okay, that's why you need to get out the boat, because it's just too much at stake.
Too much at stake. GOTV. Let me tell y'all, for all of y'all that think y'all gonna play around, there's a website. We can type in your name, and it's gonna tell us if you voted and which way you voted. They're gonna shame you to hell. So if my face smiling, making under $200,000 and voted for Trump, fuck you, girl.
That shaming commercial is a little outrageous.
I love it.
It's kind of crazy. Like, oh, they can see that you didn't vote. It's like, oh my God, scary.
My ladies, while you on Hinge and Facebook dating, you type in niggas and Otis, make sure you type them in that website as well.
Okay.
Because it's the coochie cut off.
Okay. No pose, no pussy. Okay.
No pose, no pussy.
No pose, no pussy.
We're on a coochie strike.
Get my nuts! Get my nuts!
For me, why I think it's so important to vote this year, I don't know if you've seen, but there were like 2 viral clips of like 2 older black women going to vote. And one woman, she had on her shirt her poll tax from when she used to have to pay poll tax to go vote during the 60s. And this woman, she didn't look old at all. She was up, she was moving around. And I think that it just goes to show the fact of like, we haven't been that free for that long. The fact of like, people are still walking around breathing today, wearing their poll tax on their shirt that they had to pay to go cast a ballot. And it's 2024 and they're still casting votes today. Like, I think that when we just see stuff like that, it just really makes it real for me, the fact of like, people fought for this. Like, people died for this. People that look like us was dead in the streets to go cast a vote, and y'all are talking about staying at home, or talking about you don't want to vote, or talking about that politics doesn't matter. Like, your whole existence is politics. Like, the fact that you're walking around this bitch, people fought a war for you to be able to do this. The whole living and breathing that you have going today is political.
What's wrong with y'all niggas? What's wrong with you?
When I saw that poll tax video, I think like we live in a very like therapy for a work culture. Millennials are all about like breaking generational curses and healing. And there's been like a dialogue going around that is toxic to shame people into voting with the ancestors narrative. Fuck that. Fuck that.
Get up and vote, bitch.
Get up and vote. If somebody got bit up by a damn dog, got their head busted in, got gassed left to right, walking across a bridge, there was really a movement, like a movement. And let's be real, that movement did not include 90% of everybody. It was the same as it was today. 10% of people doing 90% of the work, right? And it was somebody that really sacrificed body, life, and limb for us to vote. And you should be shamed. And anybody that's talking about we shouldn't feel shame around our ancestral connections, are we really about community?
Yeah.
Are we really about collective justice and collective movement as a people, right?
Yeah.
So I really find that interesting. And why are we calling for things to divest ourselves from the collective? And so you should feel shame not to vote.
Now check that.
Not only do we need to get out and vote, we need to get out and vote in extreme numbers.
Absolutely. Landslide. Ballots busting through the brims.
Okay? And not burnt up in the ballot box. Okay? And not burnt up.
Why are y'all bombing the ballot boxes? Are y'all well? Are y'all okay?
Because they know the landslide is coming. They don't want that to happen.
And where they blew the ballot boxes is in a really blue place.
Yeah.
Like that was like really chaos energy.
Yeah.
And I feel like we have to watch the rising in the rhetoric. Madison Square Garden, baby.
Baby, that was a KKK rally.
The KKK rally.
The Nazis.
How would you say it?
How you supposed to say it? Nazis.
He was like Nazis.
The Nazis.
I can't believe they came in like that.
I can't believe it.
He just stood up there and said we was eating water. He was carving watermelons with niggas.
Girl.
That the Puerto Ricans like to come inside. Like, why is that even rhetoric for a rally for president?
Why is that? I know why. You bitches are racist as fuck. You know this. You always see Trump in his red, white, and blue, right? At that Madison Square Garden, he had on what? Black and gold.
Ooh.
Who wear black and gold? The Proud Boys.
Ooh.
Somebody said that was a signal. He was sending signals.
Dog whistles.
And then, see, y'all gotta get into the research. You see all these books around. Cause we
open them, read them.
We like to read. We like to see what's going on.
Yes.
Elon Musk had on a Make America Great Again hat, but the font on the hat was like this Frankfurt font.
Ooh.
During the time of fucking Hitler, and that's what all the Nazis fonts was. And he had it on his hat, and it was saying "Make America Great Again." They is sending signals and dog whistles to the folks to let them know this is what we're down for. Y'all just need to vote for us to get us in there. And y'all bitches think it's fun and games. You was too busy laughing at Kamala being at a dance party with Beyonce that you didn't even peep all of the other dog whistles that they sent out. Dance party with Beyonce. Dance party with Beyonce.
I can't lie. I was sitting there like, this shit. Beyonce. But I also listen to the racism and the bigotry. And to me, it's very interesting placement. When protesters would go to the Trump rallies, right? And they used to beat their asses. They were beating their asses in 2016. There's footage. Remember when they used to put the Trump rally up with the Hitler like rhetoric at the same time?
Yes.
So that has been there, but it's also the placement in the most liberal city in America. In one of the largest stages in America. If you could book out Madison Square, that solidifies you as a star. We also have to think about Trump's roots in New York and his grandeur around being a New Yorker, right? So it's a lot of symbols there, and where he placed it was to let his followers know, win or lose, we turning this bitch up. Bombs and ballot boxes busting open their heads.
Okay, listen, bombs over Baghdad.
Hey,
okay,
don't put a thing out.
Okay. Going down, baby. Yo, street in the Range Rover, zoom, zoom, baby. Ready to let it go. Okay.
That's how they gonna be riding down 7 Mile on niggas.
And y'all not trying to go vote? Get out the vote.
GOTV.
Like we've been saying, these are not normal times. Granted, I don't know when normal times were, but I know right now, these ain't that. And so when we think about what could possibly happen after November 5th, if said Trump is not elected, what violence can come after that, considering January 6th?
Yeah.
What do people need to be prepared for?
I think people need to be prepared to protect themselves. I think they need to be prepared for whatever, right? I think when you have a president talking about he's going to use the levers of government to have an illegitimate election, we have people bombing ballot boxes.
Those ballot boxes?
Yes. We have people fighting at the early voting polls. We have a rising rhetoric echoing from the halls of Madison Square Garden across our country. We need to be prepared because he's preparing them. When he calls January 6th a love fest, we have to be prepared. And whatever that looks like, whether that's safe exit, whether that's securing your funds, learn how to shoot, protect yourself. I know. Hey,
Okay.
I'm just saying.
No, let's get it.
They was putting shit on. I always let it bring up this example. They put their whole booty out in the Capitol. If you ever been to the Capitol, it's really like hollow ground. Like, you know how you go in church and you feel something, you gotta behave. The Capitol gives you them feels. Like, it is very like kind of sacred. They put their ass out and took the shit and smeared it on the wall. On the wall. They was shitting in there. Very
touching it.
Touch it.
Shitty.
Shitty boo-boo down in the Capitol. And I think if they would smear shit on the walls to contest the election of the fair election of a white man, what the fuck you think they'll do in the election of a black woman? You know what I'm saying? So I think we just need to be wary, keep our heads on a swivel. And I got one thing to say. Where the shooters at? I'm talking about my shooters, the niggas that Lil Durk was on the phone with.
Okay,
where you at? Instead of doing hits for Durk in the game, come protect the hood.
Y'all shooting the wrong niggas. Okay, the wrong ones.
There's people that need to get taken out, and it ain't our cousins.
Okay, it's people intended to harm us. Okay,
get to the front lines. We need our defenses up.
ASAP. I want all the young niggas that be on the TikToks and on the Instagrams going crazy with their guns out and cuss everybody out. Front lines right now.
But we're giving out free shiesties, nigga.
Free shiesties. Come protect us. Line them up. Line them up. I want all you niggas out here right now.
We got a $1,200 stimmy for the end of your service.
Okay, Stimmy's coming back for that. Get on the front lines. Protect us.
Where the shooters at?
Where the shooters at? The fuck? Oh, girl. If after Tuesday shit gets crazy, I don't think that nobody needs to be worried about taking the high road. No. Like, because my thing is, they're not going to take the high road with you. You're going to get dragged and beat up how they was doing those black Trump supporters down at the rally.
Why was they whooping their ass?
Whooping their ass.
Jumping them.
Whooping their ass.
Had on MAGA hats.
All of them got on MAGA hats.
And they like, you can't tell, like, what the Spider-Man mean?
What's
like,
going on?
Oh my God.
Like, what the fuck?
Round them up.
Round them up. So the political violence, I don't know.
We will meet it with violence.
We will meet it with violence. Okay, listen, violence begets violence.
But for real, if y'all ever seen that movie Civil War, it is scary as hell, and it really gives you a depiction of like what our country could dwindle into. And I think our best bet is like protection.
Yeah.
Protection. Yeah. And you got to think, when there was all type of black action movements in the 60s and 70s, when it was nonviolent, they was letting us get our head busted in at the lunch counter and the bus blew up coming down the street, it was fine. But when the Black Panthers came with the blicky,
oh, we got to change the law.
Blickies and breakfast, everything had to switch up.
Yeah.
We need to go back to blickies and breakfast.
Yeah, we need to go back.
Yes.
Yeah. That's probably the only thing we need to go back to. That's probably
That's when we can make America great again.
Okay? Blickies and breakfast. Black Panther shooting you niggas up. Okay? Bow, bow, bow. Okay, the fuck is going on?
in the place to be.
Okay, that's me.
But I feel like Malcolm, I'm trying to X him out.
Now with all of that being said, we know y'all needs to get out the vote, but I think that we got to clear up a lot of misconceptions about our girl Kamala Harris. A lot of folks got our girl messed up.
Very
messed up. They say things that are untrue and don't really give my girl credit for the things that she needs credit for.
Yes.
So we about to get into it. Now, speaking of all of her time in politics, right? What do you think are some of her like highlights?
I think one of her biggest highlights is when she was actually AG of California, right? Which California is a state large enough with enough revenue that it can annex itself from the United States and still compete. So we ain't talking no little business.
Yeah, big business.
Boss who does
big business. Okay.
So when Kamala was AG of California, there's a huge myth that she put a lot of black men in jail. Actually, the numbers are down into almost the double digits, right? She was at the time will be deemed a progressive prosecutor, wherein she came up with a anti-recidivism program wherein a lot of low-level offenders, people who might have an ounce of weed, few grams of weed, right, would get diverted into probation or other diversion programs. A diversion program is some type of like class you may take, community service for a few hours, right?
I was in there. I was in them diversion programs. Listen, I am a benefactor, okay? Okay, no, I am a beneficiary.
He has a test and a testimony.
Okay.
A progressive prosecutor, a very progressive prosecutor got you a diversion program.
Help me out.
Yes. And this is the thing, we ask for black people to be at these tables, right? We want to elect black people and see them in these spaces. Then we get there, we say they ain't black enough, they ain't doing enough. Not realizing this system is literally created for them not to be. So when you put in somebody there, you're asking them to show up for you the best of their ability. And let me tell you something, I sit at some of those tables, they don't care about you, they ain't thinking about you. So her as AG, I think they really need to redefine her record, as being progressive and really not putting black men in jail. I think that's just a nasty, nasty rhetoric and disinformation piece about her.
Yeah.
And also she cast the most tie-breaking votes as any vice president presiding over the Senate.
Yeah.
Why did she have to? Because the MAGA millionaires don't want to pass shit to help you out.
They've been wreaking havoc. And then blaming Joe Biden.
Blaming Joe Biden. Your baby get free school lunch probably because Kamala Harris passed the casting vote.
Okay.
Instantly, Kamala Harris passed the vote casting, the tie-breaking casting vote. Like, come on, give my girl her things.
Give my girl her things. And I think that because a lot of folks don't understand just how civics works, that they are susceptible to falling victim to like the untruths or the half-truths that Republicans might tell.
It was all a lie.
Public engagement is such a cyclical process, right?
Yeah.
People in a democracy, we have a representative democracy, which is not as much direct representation as like a real democracy, right? But you have to engage at every point to put the pressure to get the system to work.
Yeah.
If not like any system in the world, if it runs unchecked with no accountability, you literally will run against you and fuck you out. Like that's just like how the world works.
Like you got to keep going. Y'all might need to start going down to them city council meetings. You might need to join the school, but like you got to get involved. You got to start doing stuff.
God forbid you do that.
God forbid you join the city council. God forbid.
Go to the meeting and make a public comment.
No, they do not like reading aloud.
And they gonna say it's that teacher that she messed with my self-confidence and the kids used to be breathing hard to get irritated. Well, you should have pressed through.
Are you dumb?
Y'all need to get involved, okay? So after you cast your vote, go figure out all of the different ways that you can get involved civically in all of the other spaces to ensure that when our girl Kamala does take office, that we can actually get things moving and grooving around here.
And don't let black be a symbol. I think we learned from Obama that if we get a leader that looks like us, we're afraid to hold them accountable because we don't want to look like we're turning against them, we're cooning or whatever. But this is my thing this time. We've learned.
Yeah, we learned.
And I think we're not, the thing with Kamala, we support her because we gonna hold her accountable. Yeah. And it's my thing. I'm leaving with something.
I'm leaving here with something.
Okay. And this is my thing. If I give Kamala my vote, I want us as folks to really organize on what do we need as black people. We at least deserve a study on reparations, right? Yeah. If we know we got a leader up there we can push more to others, we should be galvanizing and doing something around that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I think that should always be the plan. I think that a lot of folks, we just really stop at the voting booth, and then after that we just sit back and say, oh damn, see? But it's like, see what? Like you didn't even try to do anything after you cast that vote.
Thanks a lot, bitch.
She isn't just doing her own thing. She isn't just saying it's my way or the highway. Like she's listening to the people. She's making sure to take into consideration like what the needs are and figuring out like how she can meet those needs, right? If any other candidate was being criticized for like not paying attention to black men, they probably would have never like said anything. But what did she do? She created a whole policy for us, right? She literally identified what were the most pressing issues that this group of people might be facing and how can I help them out. Even after that, people still had the nerve to talk about the policy that she created for black men after saying that she didn't even have a policy to begin with. Like, that just don't even make no sense to me. Like, how could you be upset with the policies that she's outlined to help black men and say that she should have had something for child support forgiveness? Are you serious?
$67 a week is whooping their ass.
You want a presidential candidate to forgive your niggas of your parental duties?
Is that what you think the metrics and meters of government are for?
Is that what you think it's for? You niggas wasn't happy with the $25,000 first down payment for the first time home buyers. You niggas wasn't happy for the $6,000 child credit. You niggas wasn't happy for the cryptocurrency protections. Like, y'all, first off, you be trading shit that you don't even know how to trade. You getting scammed on Cash App. You getting scammed on Bitcoin. You doing all this crazy stuff. And my girl came up with a plan to protect your cryptocurrency. And you was mad at that.
You're slapping a hand.
Slapping the hand that's trying to help you out.
And Joe Biden would have called y'all some super predators that made a crime.
Oh, we did it, Joe.
We did it, Joe. You got my girl up there chit-chat with Charlamagne Cliff, Shay, the basketball niggas. She's trying to, this is the thing. She is a reflexive leader.
Yes.
Any great leader hears the needs of the people and reflects the moment to make sure they come along with her.
Mm-hmm.
And so I feel like we might not think she's perfect. We might not think she's progressive enough, but she's showing us, I'm listening.
I'm listening.
And more importantly, Black people, I'm not going to leave you behind.
Yeah. Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
And where's she gonna watch it at election night?
HU, you know.
She's trying to tell you what it is.
Okay, pay attention. Just how we saw all of those dog whistles down at the Madison Square Garden. Pay attention to the signs and signals that my girl is sending us. And so this is something else that I've been thinking about, is that people gotta realize this is not just a Black folks president. This is not just a woman president. This is a president for everybody. So when she's creating policies, when she's saying speeches, when she's having talking points, right? Yes. Her insights or the things that she's telling us have to be mindful of all folks and what all people need. But guess what? Policies that help the least of us help all of us.
Agreed. And I think that she as a leader has to attend to the needs of all people. And that doesn't stop us from demanding what we need, but also think about coalition building.
Yeah.
Like, and why do you think your plight, even though I think our country has become so isolationist with the media, everybody's in an echo chamber, it's no way that you don't think $25,000 home payment is as beneficial as it is to you as somebody in the UP.
Yeah.
In a rural community.
Yeah.
Down in Southwest Detroit with my Spanish speaking folks. Like, I really think we have to start to think broadly about how we all are struggling under the reins of capitalism. And I think we have to start to think about how do we operate in coalition with one another and how do we push her and stop thinking about like, oh, I wanted my child support forgiven. Nigga, how about you buy a house for you and your kids?
Yeah.
And how is it powerful for everyday working Americans to buy a home for their kids, to be able to stay home and get a $6,000 tax break for having a baby, right? Yeah. So I really think how we have to think about economically and also how oppression works in this country. We're stronger in coalition.
Yeah.
You know, and they got to get Kamala her things because she is trying to do these broad stroking things for all Americans without saying being too South Asian, being too Black, you know? Yeah. Really trying to be a people's president.
Yeah. 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 And my whole thing is, even if she was to make policies only for Black folks, we've had millions of presidents who made only policies for the folks that they belong to.
Or to oppress said Black folks.
Okay. So, listen, maybe it's time for a change.
Cheers to the girls
weekend. And we're going to sleep in your friends' room.
Cheers.
And listen, Kamala, when you get in office, I got a first 30-day agenda for you, okay? We're gonna make sure that your first 30 days are off to a hit. The first thing I need you to do, you must do something about the barbs. You have to do something about the barbs, Kamala. Kamala. The barbs have gone wild. They are running amok in the streets. They are attacking everybody. You can't say nothing about their queen or your head is getting chopped off, okay? They are doxing people. They are coming up with misinformation. They are spreading lies. They are forgiving Nikki for her coke rants, okay? And acting like everything is okay. Kamala, you must do something about the barbs, okay?
Immediately.
Because these are not just people on the internet.
No.
These are real people walking around. Your nurse could be a barb.
Ooh.
Your teacher could be a barb. Your pastor could be a barb. And if you got these people acting like this and they're trying to serve you, you don't want that. So Kamala, the barb. Do something about the barb.
Oh my God. Why would the barbs do that like that? Very on brand for the barbs. Kamala.
So yes, the barbs Kamala, do something about them ASAP.
Literally, I can't take this shit no more.
The other thing, Kamala, you have to do something about Planet Fitness. You have to do something about the gym memberships. It don't make no sense that I can sign up in 30 seconds. It's quick, easy breezy, beautiful, and I'm working out. But the minute I want to switch to another gym, I gotta come in person. I gotta write a letter. I gotta get the letter notarized. I gotta sign it off at the post office. I gotta do so much shit just to cancel the membership. Okay?
And why do they charge that little $60 fee at the most inopportune time?
The most inconvenient time.
Bitch coming out on Christmas Eve.
Like, what's going on? What's going on? They are worse than Apple. You gotta do something about the gyms. You gotta do something about them.
Rein them in.
Rein them in. Because my thing is, why should you charge me a $60 annual fee and I go into the motherfucking gym and the machine I want to use don't even work? Locker rooms is shut down half of the time. Fix the gyms. Fix the gyms.
Right now.
And my last one, for those first 30 days, Kamala. And I know that you love the LGBTQ community. So Kamala, within your first 30 days, and I know you got experience with this, okay? You need to have a bottom boule. You need to get all of the bottoms together, get them in one central location, and train them up, okay? Go over the highlights of the bottom community, teach them the bottom path forward, and teach them the best practices. Because I don't know what has gone on. I don't know what has gone on, but the bottoms are not real bottoms no more.
That's sad.
I'm getting older as the days go by. I'm looking to settle down. These bottoms are not even trying to settle down. They're out in the clubs wearing skirts and thongs, and they're twerking, and the butt cheeks are not moving. Okay? You need to have a bottom boule. You have to get them together. We need top-notch bottoms back on the streets.
You are absolutely right.
And when you get them down to the convention, tell them it's no more verse niggas are done. All of the sides is done. The only sides we know is macaroni and cheese, yams, and greens. Okay? Tell them all that shit is over. Get them down to the bottom boule and make sure you're teaching them how to be bottoms of the future.
You Negroes need to get your act together.
That's my first 30 days. Together.
Why would she know how to train a bottom?
I mean, she can do everything else. She was AG, she was a prosecutor, she was VP, she about to be president. What can't she do?
Damn right. If baby she can't get him in order, who can?
Who can?
The bottom boule. Sorry for that sword. So sorry for the use of
So, honey, what's on your first 30-day agenda for our sister?
Kamala, my dear sister. First things first, top of the agenda. We're locking them up. We're rounding up all the Tory Lane sympathizers, all the Chris Brown crusaders, all of the Cosby cuckoo birds, bitch, and all the R. Kelly R words. We're locking them up. You know how Trump say lock them? We want to lock them up. You want to know why? Because Meg just dropped her new documentary. All of you bitches only want to show and talk about how she fucked Tory Lanez. Nobody wants to talk about Megan Thee Stallion. And she said she was drunk out of her mind. Why are we talking about this?
He clearly took advantage of her.
Clearly took advantage. Nobody's talking about the art culture that's live and present in this situation. And okay, was my girl being a bad friend? Yeah. But I'm going to be honest. People in their 20s, they have a lot of kind of wild sex.
That don't mean you shoot a bitch.
That don't mean you shoot a bitch. And that don't mean you keep getting on here worrying about what she was popping her pussy at instead of him popping the bullets in her foot. Like, get rid of them all. Lock them up. We're going to first find them in the Shade Room comments. We're going to find them under all the incels YouTubes. We're going to get them together. We're going to lock them up, sister. Bring back your AG hood. We're not diverting these niggas. They're going straight to jail.
They gotta go.
You gotta go. You hate black women. And they didn't vote for you. They didn't vote for you. They gotta go. Gotta blast.
I don't think it's right, but hey, prisoners.
Okay, second up, these are the supporters, the ones who put the abusers on their backs, the podcast bros. First, we're gonna get rid of the podcast. We're gonna get rid of the podcast because if the abusers didn't have these enablers, they would not continue to roll with their flow.
What's going on? Y'all are going to jail! Period!
I am so tired of a nigga getting in the comment section telling a woman what she need to do, where she need to be. Oh, you a single mom ain't gonna want you. You got a degree ain't gonna want you. You a bum bitch. You don't want women.
Gay rights.
We really are facing an epidemic in our community where these niggas have been brainwashed, where they have lost all of their common sense. So we're getting rid of the podcast. Put the microphone on the floor. We're stumping that bitch to smithereens. I've had enough.
You're out of it.
And last but not least on the list, and I've been saying this for years, this last one is very near and dear to my heart. And I know it matters to you, my sister, because all of us pretty girls, we love a bouncing, flowing rap, period. We like to, you know, and your rap be rapping, baby. You know what I'm saying?
Madam Silk Press.
Madam Silk Press. Sometimes it be a silk press, sometimes it be blended, but it be bouncing, baby. So we want to make the hairstylist great again. Bye to your booking site, bitch. No, I don't got a deposit, ho. I want to be on your books, pen to paper, bitch. And then when I come, I want to wash. Real good. Remember y'all scalp noodles to get in there and get shook the fuck up. Make the hairstylist great again. Because there's no way I got a black woman president with a bouncy flowing rap who's an Alpha Kappa Alpha woman from Howard University and you cannot get these hoes information. Okay, Beyonce came out and endorsed you with Kelly with a banging bob. The hairdressers, Miss Tina could lead the department. Mama Tina, the matriarch.
Sign her up.
Sign her up. She's gonna get them bitches in order and teach them some good customer service, bitch. And sometimes you play around and you gotta fuck around and find out and you hairdressers are done, cooked. So we're done with the abusers, their supporters, and you hoe ass hairdressers.
And with that being said, make sure all y'all get out the vote. Get out the vote. Get out the vote. Get out the vote. And we'll see y'all next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Pardon me. Pardon me.